Before Social Security, survival wasn't guaranteed. Families, charities, and personal savings played a huge role, but not everyone had access to these resources. Let's break it down. First up, family was the cornerstone of support. Back then, it was common for multiple generations to live under one roof. Younger family members often took care of their elderly relatives. But let's be real, this wasn't easy. Caring for aging parents or grandparents while working to support your own family could be overwhelming, especially during tough economic times. Families often had to make sacrifices, from taking on additional jobs to foregoing educational opportunities for the younger generation. There was no safety net to fall back on, which put immense pressure on individuals. When families couldn't do it alone, communities stepped in. Churches, fraternal organizations, and local charities were crucial. They provided food, shelter, and sometimes even financial aid. But there was a catch. Resources were often limited, and not everyone could rely on consistent help. In smaller communities, this help often came with strings attached, such as expectations of public gratitude or participation in local activities. Still, it showcased the importance of solidarity and mutual aid. Some people relied on savings, putting away what they could during their working years. But here's the thing. Life back then was unpredictable. An illness, a bad harvest, or an economic downturn like the Great Depression could wipe out a lifetime of savings overnight. This often forced people into a precarious position, relying on loans or selling off cherished belongings just to make ends meet. Even those who planned ahead could find themselves struggling when the unexpected happened. For those who had no family, savings, or community support, there was the poorhouse. These government-funded institutions provided basic shelter and food. Poorhouses were often overcrowded, stigmatized, and offered little more than bare survival. Life in these institutions could be harsh, with strict rules, hard labor, and limited freedoms for residents. It was a grim reminder of what could happen if you had no safety net at all. The Great Depression was a turning point. It exposed just how vulnerable people were without a safety net. Millions of Americans, both young and old, found themselves in dire poverty. This crisis paved the way for President Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal and the creation of Social Security in 1935. But it wasn't just about providing financial aid. It was about restoring dignity and hope for an entire generation.